snap of the wrist from John Spence Jr., the command has been given from you, the race fans. On behalf of Jack Bateman and his organization, we salute and thank the Arute family for having the Modified Racing Series here at Stafford for 3 visits in 2015. Covering the action down in turn 3 for tonight's presentation, our newest and rising star of our broadcast team, Darren Ayotte. Your final thoughts as the field now heads towards you from turn 2.
Well, guys, the 42 of Woody Pickett has already won tonight's SK Modified feature, his first win since 2013. But when it comes to this season in the vmrs, it has been a great one. He's already won twice here this season and is looking to make the clean sweep tonight. He's 3rd in the championship standings, just 17 points out of Chris Pastriak, who has had a great run thus far. But with just 3 races to go, you can't count out Woody Pickett, the hometown boy.
Darren Ayotte covering the action there. We'll head down on pit road to get the final thought from John Gates, who's covering the action as well. John?
Okay, guys, definitely an action-packed event. We are expecting 80 laps of side-by-side racing action here as the Plenty Modified Racing Series takes on here 80 laps. And Woody Pickett, can he do it? He just got done winning a 40-lap SK Modified main event. Woody trying to do double duty tonight and get 2 wins. Let's see if that can happen. But he's got a lot of competition here with the Plenty Modified Racing Series. Back to you guys.
The first of 4 parade laps before we kick things off here for tonight's presentation. John Spence is the voice of the Valente Modified program, as Spence has told us that the competition has never been as impressive as in the final 6 events we've seen building up to this event, John.
It really has, and you know, we're coming in here off of a great show at Oxford last week, the week before Monadnock. We only saw 1 caution flag in each of those races. Very competitive races. Last week, Chris Pastriak, as we said at the outset, dominated last week, and it was a strong performance, but the racing that went on behind him was really a sight to behold. And especially, as we alluded to earlier in the program tonight, lap after lap after lap of side-by-side racing with many cars, but the one that stood out the most was the youngster Swanson and the veteran John McKennedy. Neither one of them touched each other, but they went probably a good 15 to 18 laps, nerf bar to nerf bar, and never touched each other. It was good stuff. That's the kind of racing we've been seeing then.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we need you to give them the send-off. The salute, as we call it. This time, when they head off turn number 4, let's give the Modifieds from the Valente Modified Racing Series a big salute. Wave your hat, your program, and anything that you have. This is what you've come to see. 32 cars strong, 26. The cream has risen to the top. They venture into turn number 4. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Give them a wave. Give them a send-off. This is Modified Country, and this is your Modified Racing Series 80-lap event. Thumbs up, stamp your feet, and give them a send-off. There's nothing like it. They're ready to do battle. Like gladiators about to go center stage into the arena. Only the fittest and one person will have bragging rights to be the best in the business. The gentleman who has been the voice of the Valente Modified Racing Series since its conception, John Spence, with his final thoughts, because we'll be going green in 1 lap.
Well, we've got some experience up at the front, and one of those cars that is looking to pick up his first win of the campaign is the guy that is celebrating his birthday in that number 25. It's been a while since we have seen Rowan Pennick in competition with this series. He's due.
He certainly is, and remember, his day did not start good. They had a problem with the engine in the race car in practice today, but they've cured all of that. And what about Wren on the outside of the front row? He's going to retire, so he says, at the end of the season.
He's still standing by that.
Final time down into turn number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, and now with the call of tonight's 80-lap event for the Modified Race Series, the voice of the series, John Spence.
All right, thank you very much, Ben. As we look down to the flag stand, John Spence Jr. is ready to call him out of the corner here for 80 laps of ground-pounding action. The Valenti Modified Racing Series Stafford 80 is underway.
Bottom of turn 1, the youngster, Dylan Kopech, thunders to the front of the class. Here comes, just as predicted, Rowan Pennick. Pennick, the color red, moves to the inside, side by side off turn 4.
Good battle right there, too, here in the opening lap. Wren right up behind Kopech. Kopech, boy, I'll tell you, on any given night, sometimes probably see this kid nail one down. He's very capable.
He certainly is. Keep your eyes on Todd Szegedy. He's no stranger to the half mile here at Stafford. Purple number 85 car up to the 4th spot. And then we've got Kid Rock, Keith Rocco, now setting in position number 5.
And right behind him is the kid from Northport, New York. That's David Schneider with the number 19. Last year's Rookie of the Year, Mike Willis Jr. is next in the pecking order. And we've got some side-by-side racing going here in the early stages. No Seller on the bottom of turn number 4. On the outside, it was the 96 of Perry, and sliding in behind Osella is Teddy Christopher.
Christopher is being patient, but we're only 3 laps in. That patient will wear out for sure. Meanwhile, keep your eyes on the number 5 of Pastriak. This series has a different set of rules. If you win the last race, you have to start 12th in the next race. That's the reason that Pastriak has started so far back, and Woody Pitcat has just went around Pastriak like he was stopped on the racetrack.
He goes to the bottom of Dan Meserve Jr. as they work through the 3rd and 4th turns. Down the front straightaway. It is still Pitcat right behind the 92 of Nocella. Now in turn number 1.
Fastest lap, 19.114. Dylan Kopech, your leader. He turns that on lap number 5. Kopech, just a youngster, came here with his dad when his dad was a big dog on the Whelen Modified Tour here at Stafford. Trouble down through the center of the infield. One car sliding.
Dan Meserve Jr. in car number 45, the only Ford-powered modified in the field here tonight.
So 6 laps are now complete in the 80-lap event. And just as we went and crossed the line, the fastest lap of the race changed from Dylan Kopech, Teddy Christopher, car number 00.
Good night for the Ronnie Williams team.
Now we remind you that Periscope has just went up if you wanted to view the situation that took place with the Meserve car spinning. Earlier today in qualifying, Jack Bateman's race car, Donnie Lashaway, had something break and went into turn number 1. Ronnie Williams wasn't scheduled to run that car. Jeff Rocco was in the 179. Truth is, he never had a lap of practice, but he still qualified in this stout 32-car field that we've narrowed down to 26. Lights are off from Whelen Engineering. Here's John Spence.
All right, Ben, as they get set to go back to green, Kopech and Wren, 1-2 here since the drop of the green flag. Good-looking roll through the 4th turn, out of the corner. Green flag is back over the speedway, and Wren nails it going down the front straightaway, and he's got the top spot.
No question, but it is Dylan Kopech digging in. Off the turn. All of a sudden, Rowan Pennick muscles his way to the bottom. Pennick moves into 2nd. Here comes Todd Szegedy. And just as we predicted, Ted Christopher is on a roll. The 00s marching to the front.
Nice recovery by Kopech to get the top spot. Pennick's with him off of turn number 2. Wren and Szegedy are battling for the 3rd position. Teddy's in the 5th spot. Look at this. Pitcat's going to go to the outside. Pitcat wants to make this a clean sweep here tonight. Hit the hat trick.
There's no doubt about it. While all that's been happening, here comes Rowan Pennick. 3rd leader of the event in 8 laps. Rowan Pennick. Todd Szegedy moves in. Smooch to the back bumper. No no love affair there. Off the turn, Szegedy, the color purple, like an Easter bunny, has moved into second.
No freight train style here in the early goings of this 80-lap event here. We've got some good side-by-side racing going on behind the leaders as Rowan's got the top spot. Look at Kit Kat. That as he passed down the back straightaway to the high side. It is going to be Rocco as they roar off the number 4 turn. Rocco is right there with Dylan and Red's in tow.
Woody Pitcat started 13th on the grid. He's up to the top 3. 3 isn't good enough. Here's Szegedy. Here's Pitcat. Slingshot move to the bottom. Off the turn they come, back to the stripe. Pennick's got his hands full because Todd Szegedy becomes the 4th different leader of the event. Szegedy moves out front. Who's the tail that wags the dog now? Guess what? Woody Pitcat up to second.
He is, and Rocco's running 3rd. Kopech drops to 4th. TC is in the 5th spot. Ren is running in 6th. 7th is going to be, well, it'll be Ren now as they come down the front straightaway. Right behind is the 19 car. Then Chris Pasteryak in the 5 Connecticut.
12 circuits up on the board. 5th lead change in 12 laps. Woody Pitcat becomes the brand new leader. Szegedy has to settle for second. Rocco is up to the top 3. Pennick back to 4. Then Teddy Christopher in the top 5. Dylan Kopech for 6. Ren for 7. And then it's Snyder for the 8th spot. And Chris Pasteryak setting in 9th over Perry in position number 10.
The Cat's not running away from Szegedy. Todd staying right with him as they go through the 1st and 2nd corner. Now TC goes by Pennick. Pennick starting to fade as Kopech goes to the outside of the number 25 car, trying to pressure him for the number 5 spot. Ren follows. Kopech off of turn number 4 as they come down the front straightaway.
All of a sudden, Rowan Pennick's car seems to get a little evil as he drops off the pace just a bit. Down to Darren Ayotte in turn 3.
Guys, it's amazing what confidence gives you to a driver. Just a few laps ago before this caution, 42 of Woody Pitcat was running in 13, had moved up to 12, but this car looked a little bit tight coming out of turn 3, number 4. It's amazing what can happen when you stay out, take the lead, and now all of a sudden that car seems to be pushing up ahead. I think confidence is a big thing to do about that.
I think you're right, Darren, and we're seeing some confidence. They've all brought their A game here tonight at Stafford as they come back to the stripe. Meanwhile, we've got Pennick, who seems to be getting what we'll call it his second win, John, because now he's all over the back bumper of Ren, and that's the battle for 6th.
Absolutely, and behind him is Schneider, then Pasteryak in the 5 Connecticut. Now, we got a side-by-side battle going on between Willis Jr. and Perry. They're coming off the 4th turn and down the front straightaway, and they continue to battle.
2 drivers side-by-side, wheel to wheel. That is the battle, as we're speaking about, for the 11th and the 12th position currently on the racetrack. 18 laps are up on the board. We're soon approaching the quarter of a way through this event. And again, the leader is Woody Pitcat. Now, Pitcat has won the first 2 visits this year of this series. He is confident, he's got a good setup, and the Felton mastermind behind this car knows how to run here at Stafford.
Greg Felton, Peter Kolesa, the car owner, and that crew, that was Kirk Alexander's crew, but he had all that success early on in the history of this series.
Sure was, and Kirk Alexander, he has shown moments of brilliance here tonight in qualifying, but we've still got a long way to go. A quarter of the 80 now complete. We'll set the field for you. Woody Pitcat, Todd Szegedy 2nd, Christopher in 3rd, Rocco for 4th, and Dylan Kopech to round out the top 5.
6th is Norm Ren, 7th Rowan Pennick, 8th is David Schneider, 9th is Chris Pasteryak, and the top 10 car right now is number 96, Dennis Perry.
2 cars have consistently dipped into the top times here in the 18-second bracket. 18.865, Woody Pitcat. The last time by, they slowed the pace down just a bit as we are now 22 laps complete of 80.
You know, Szegedy's staying right there, too. I mean, the leader is not running away from him. He is running a nice pace there with the number 85 car running in the 2nd spot. Christopher is still holding on to that 3rd spot. Rocco and Kopech making up the top 5.
You have to give Dylan Kopech credit. This youngster cut his teeth here at Stafford, started in the front row, and he isn't about to give up. He's among the top 5 positions currently as we continue to click them off here at Stafford. Todd Patno is a driver who we refer to as a closer. He does not run hard and strong early, but when we come to the final laps of the event, that's where he comes on like the old Jack the Bear.
Kind of like a Dwight Jarvis.
Absolutely correct there. The state of New Hampshire has provided us with some of the best open-wheel drivers in the country, and there is two perfect examples of just that.
So, still sitting atop the field, Woody Pitkat. He took last Saturday night off, ran the Wheel of Codified Tour at Riverhead. He went into last weekend as the point leader of this series. Chris Pastriak's taken over that top spot. Pitkat's got 3 races with which to work with, and that's big 3 starting here tonight.
Looking at timing and scoring, the last time by, Woody Pitkat was a 19:01.5. Todd Szegedy a 19:051, and Christopher a 19:109. So pretty much the way you see them running is what the story of their times will show. Meanwhile, a little further back in the field, we're looking at Chris Pastriak with that number 5 car. He is currently in the 9th position. Now remember, as a winner of the previous event, you have to start 12th.
And he comes right up behind Dave Schneider coming around the number 4 corner and down the front straightaway. So we're going to see what the 5 Connecticut's got here to see if he can advance, go up the rungs of the ladder here over the next 10 laps, because they are starting to work toward the halfway mark in this race.
There's no question about it. Now all of a sudden Christopher's times are starting to change just a bit, not on the positive side, but he's starting to slow just a bit. You have to wonder about tire management and wear. Remember, the strategy of the MRS series is simply this. You don't have the luxury of pitting on pit road and changing tires. You only have to change a tire if one goes flat.
31 laps completed as Pitkat continues the 7th forward pace. Szegedy staying within striking distance, and they are going to be coming up on the back end of the field here in a pack of lapped cars momentarily. 32 laps down.
32 of 80 now complete. Leader Woody Pitkat comes up on traffic. Jeff Pearl will be the first car to go down a lap, as Pearl's in a pack of cars, the 2X, the 88, and the 17 machine. And now Russ Hershey picks up a spot at the bottom of the field. Back up front, the leader still remains Woody Pitkat. Interestingly enough, the Pastriak family have been running here at Stafford. Chris Pastriak's uncle Carl was a rookie here back in the 70s. As now Pastriak moves down underneath Schneider, turn 4.
Side by side as they come down the front straightaway, and Chris is going to move by. He's cleared the 19 car.
He is now up to the 8th position. Rowan Pennick is 7th spot. As now heavy traffic in front of the leaders. Donnie Lashaway, next car to go down a lap. And Woody Pitkat's times consistently stay in the high 18, low 19s.
And he seems to be opening up a little bit of real estate, too, over the number 85 car now, as he's getting by those slower cars a lot quicker than Todd is.
You know, it all started at the high banks of Monadnock when Todd Szegedy won the opening day event for this series. And Woody said then that he thought that Monadnock was going to be his easiest track to conquer, seeing he had the setup for there from his crew in all those years of winning with Kirk Alexander. But that was not the case. But since then, Woody has shown that he owns a piece of the real estate here at Stafford.
Certainly does. Got a great run going here.
Halfway, as the leader comes off turn number 4, 40 circuits of 80. We'll reset the field. Woody Pitkat, your leader, Zegedy second, Christopher third, Rocco for fourth, and Kopech for 5.
He is in that 5th position, and then it's Norman Wren running in the 6th position. Pennick is 7th. Pastriak is running in 8th. Schneider's 9th, and Mike Willis Jr. right now is running in the 10th position.
Mike Willis having a good run. He turned some heads last weekend as well, so he's starting to develop his rhythm here at Stafford. Meanwhile, Dylan Kopech seems to be closing up the gap ever so slightly on Keith Rocco.
Certainly does. Look at this for the 4th turn. Inching up behind the number
Later,
68.
just did the zigzag move around Meservey, Bobby Drown, and Medeiros. It's like Woody Pitcat's in a zone of his own. Get out of his way because he is cutting through traffic impressively. And there is heavy lap traffic.
Absolutely. Patterson Farms, KBR Motorsports, Gunsmoke Stables, providing the support here for Peter Kalesa, the car owner, and that number 42 car of Woody Pitcat. 44 laps completed.
Bobby Drown, car number 7, is off the pace. Let's check back in with Darren Ayotte as he looks at the field in turn 3.
Guys, Woody Pitcat continues to lead this vmrs 80 with Tom Zegedy in second. But now fourth place is Ted Christopher. He's going to move the gap to fourth place. Keith Rocco, and he's not really gaining on the top 2 guys right now. Guys, last month, the double 0 Ted Christopher won the vmrs 100 and won the one from Speedway. Less than a day later, he was disqualified. I think it's an acceptable type of fuel. This only fueled the fire for a guy who's so accustomed to winning. At Stafford, he's a 9-time SC Modified champion, all-time record. Also, SC Modified, another all-time record. The other guy that really seems to be able to get to these top 2 guys, at least as of right now, have a chance to be Ted Christopher. Oh, and don't forget, he won the SK Modified feature 2 weeks ago at the Waterford Speedway.
You are so right, Darren, as now we're noticing Dennis Perry, a contender in the points. Car number 96 is off the pace just a bit. Perry was strong in the early laps of the event, and now Dennis Perry, John, is down on pit road.
He is, as he makes his way down to his pit area location. They stop him there, and the Perry family, Norman Perry, and everyone that's involved with that whole operation, looking over the inside of car number 96. Looks like they're focusing on the engine area.
Check out the battle for the 7th spot. Rowan Pennick. All of a sudden, Chris Pastriak. Turn 2, headed down the back straightaway. Pastriak pulls out a line. Bottom shot move. Car number 5. And the 25. Gone. It is Chris Pastriak who moves in to the 7th spot. Rowan Pennick drops back to 8th. Pastriak, just as predicted. He's a closer, and he is definitely among the quicker cars now on the racetrack.
50 laps completed, only 1 caution flag so far. 3 races in a row that we've seen only 1 caution flag. We'll see how this plays out. Some of these drivers, Ben, probably have got fingers crossed, hoping that they do see a yellow to get this thing closed up.
Trouble now, we see the Swanson machine almost got in trouble with the 56 car, but he was able to gather it back, and that, of course, is Mike Keeler. Meanwhile, 51 laps are now complete. Things are starting to settle in, but that is not the story for Chris Pastriak. He is all over the red number 53 car. Off turn number 4. Keep your eyes on the 5. He's making a bold move to the bottom.
He certainly is as they work into turn number 1, coming up on a couple of slower cars. Red's got the center line. Pastriak on the bottom. Red beats him off the number 2 turn. Now they come up on a couple of cars side by side. Red's trying to thread the needle, and Pastriak's going to follow. So is Pennick as they come down the front straightaway.
Pastriak has a car that runs like it's glued to the bottom of the racetrack. Ren is still in front of him, but it's just a matter of time before Chris Pastriak is able to put himself into contention to pick up that spot. That will then put Chris Pastriak up to the 6th position. 54 laps, leader is still Pitcat. Fastest lap now turn, Keith Rocco, 18.854. 18.854. And just as we predicted, Chris Pastriak is up to the 6th spot, and he's going to be moving in on Dylan Kopech.
So that right now is the car that's really racy out there, and that's Pasteryak. He is slowly pecking away at these drivers, trying to progress himself to the top 5 here and hopefully get a top 5 finish, if not better, in the remaining laps.
56 of 80. And let's quickly go back to Darren.
Guys, for Patrick making a pass to get into the 6th position. Car seems to be doing pretty well around these 4 corners here at Stafford Motor Speedway. He's going to need a caution, as you said, if he wants to have a chance to get into the top 5, which is good for now. As for Roland Pennick, who's just been dropping back since that restart, all the way down to the 7th position now. Car just way too tight entering and exiting the corners, especially in turns number 3 and 4. He may need a caution to make some adjustments on his car.
You know, Darren, keep your eyes on the number 66 car. The 50 of Medeiros has come to a halt just off from turn number 2. Car number 50, Medeiros, brought out a yellow. The minute the yellow comes out, he pulls away on the 50 car. And this could be exactly, learned the lessons well, he moved to the front of the class. Minor adjustments only, the story on pit road. A lot of what happens with these cars, they move tires from the back to the front and the front to the back.
I think this caution is going to benefit the 5 Connecticut car.
You might be right. Let's go to Darren Ayotte as he takes a look at the field before we go back to green.
Yes, guys, it looks like Roland Pennick's going to be restarting in the 11th position in the 6th row. So we'll see. Only losing 4 positions out of that pit stop. Really not a bad strategy for those guys. See if they can crack the top 10 and try to make their way back to the top 5. But, guys, I don't know. Woody Pickett and Todd Szegedy, those 2 guys look to be the 2 cars to beat tonight.
Place your bets now because all bets are off in this high-stakes game of racing here at Stafford. Green is out and Pitcat with a slight advantage. And John, look at Teddy Christopher.
He's on the move on the bottom, but so is Todd Szegedy on the high side as they get out of back straightaway. Kopech slows dramatically in the 66 car. Boy, has that changed the complexion there now, as Pasteryak is trying to chase down the 0-0.
We've got 2 cars spinning. Top side of the racetrack brings out a yellow. Medeiros brings out his 2nd caution of the event. And then the number 8 car of Kyle James. So Medeiros has a flat, looks like a right rear tire, and minor spins. Picks up at the rear of the field with car number 50.
21 of the original 26 cars are still in the show.
That's right. Lashaway is the lucky dog as he moves back on the lead lap in the 15th position.
Here we go.
Patterson Farms machine. Stewart Automotive. Devin Stewart, been around the sport a long time as well. The real serious racer. John Spence apparently does not like the way things look, and perhaps they have spotted debris or something on the racetrack in turn number 4.
He spotted something. He was pointing over at that end of the speedway and immediately threw the yellow flag out again.
Family Ford of Enfield, Track Safety Services crew. If you're in the market for a brand new or used Ford, it's Family Ford of Enfield. Route 190 in Enfield, Connecticut, not far from the Stafford Motor Speedway. So they're checking that racing surface. Darren, from your vantage point, do you see anything down there in turns 3 and 4?
Guys, not seeing anything right now. Just a little bit of built-up rubber in the marbles here on the top groove of the racetrack. But right now, I think they're all looking to just make sure this might be just a precautionary measure to double check, but no any significant debris on the track in turns 3 and 4.
Track crew heads back to the center of the infield. And John Spence Jr. looking the field over, doubles him up. How quickly it all can change. Just 2 laps ago, Patnode was on pit road. And now, he's back among the top 12 cars. Woody Pitcat, Szegedy. in the front row. Then Rocco and Christopher Pastriak and Norm Wren. Norm Wren hasn't left the top 6 tonight.
Done a nice job. Here they come. Green flag back over the speedway. Back to racing we go. Side-by-side action ensues in the turn number 1. Oh, let's see what happens when they exit that second corner.
Oh, trouble. Second, he goes around. It almost appeared that a tire or something might have went around. Went awry on the second. Nice guy. 59 of 80. Pitcat's got a new dancing partner in the front row. Chris Pastriak.
Funny you mentioned that about Kirk. You know, you've got people in your life that you can feel yourself smiling when you're in their presence. Kirk Alexander's one of those guys.
I agree with that.
He just makes you smile all the time. He's a funny, funny guy.
Okay. Let's get back to what we're here to see. 59 of 80. Pitcat has been forceful at the front of the field, but Chris Pastriak has been on the attack mode. Here they come.
18 cars ready to take the green flag and start this thing and finish it as they head down the front straightaway into the corner now. Let's see how this plays out as they go through the first and second turn. Pastriak is going to take a peek on the outside as they head down the back straightaway. Look at Red, solid in third. Here comes Kopech to the inside.
Kopech is there. Then on the outside, car number 19, David Schneider. Schneider's turning in a gangbuster run. Sparks will fly down the front straightaway. They gather it back. Somehow they hold on. Side by side racing at its best. Schneider goes to the front of the class, to the back, and we've got one around in turn 1.
Actually, we've got 2 up there that were at the end of that pile. Schneider was the guy, I think, that made contact with the wall out here and dramatically slowed down the front straightaway going into the first turn.
Zegedy at the start of this season, he wasn't even sure if he was going to be running as much as he has been. Picked up the Bob Garbarino Mystic Missile ride and had a brilliant run, winning at New Hampshire International.
That was going to be a real selected schedule for Zegedy with this series.
Yep. And he's been hanging in there with the big dogs, to be honest with you, all season long. And he is a very talented young driver who also graduated from the SK Modifieds here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. 60 laps up on the board. Let's hope the boys will settle in now.
Rocco's got that tire change John reported on. Spark plug change with the Nocella car, is that the word?
That's what they're telling us. Apparently he might have had a plug.
Here we go.
Out. There we are.
Green flag back out, and look at this. Pitcat didn't get up to speed. Pastriak's got the lead. Kopech is second, and Woody's trying to pedal as fast as he can down the back straightaway.
It's going to take Woody Pitcat a couple of laps to get some heat in those tires, apparently, because Pastriak quickly moves into command the event. And here Dylan Kopech. Now,
look at Christopher. Eddie's right there. Look at Mike Willis Jr. in the 38 car. Here comes Woody now. Pitcat's going to the bottom.
Woody Pitcat. We said he's going to take a couple of laps, but that car isn't as strong as it was before the last caution. Leaders, lap time, last time, Pastriak 9.586, 19.586. Woody's time, 19.882.
Big dramatic change here for the 5 Connecticut and the 42 car. 63 laps are completed.
80 is the magic number. Here comes Willis working over Dylan Kopech. Willis moves to the inside. And now Willis will take over the 3rd position.
I'll tell you, this kid's a charger. That is a family operation. Of course, they've got sponsorship, but he and his dad, they are the people behind that whole operation, and they have really done a remarkable job. Look at Ren. Ren now right up behind the 00 car.
Keith Rocco is coming to the front as well. Dylan Kopech drops back a couple of more positions. 65 of 80. Chris Pastriak took advantage of things on the restart And Woody Pitcat is closing up that gap.
He is. Chris did take advantage and played it well, but you're right. The 42 car is starting to close.
19.211. Woody Pitcat's last time by. Leader Pastriak 19.275.
So it'll be Willis running in third, Teddy Christopher's fourth, fifth is Norm Wren. Dave Etheridge is running in the sixth spot. Seventh is Kopeck. Eighth is Rocco. Dan Mazurvi Jr.'s ninth, and Matt Swanson's 10th.
There's no question. There's good racing, and now Pitcat is closing up that gap. But the big story is, will there be enough time to get the job done? 12 circuits remaining. Little cat and mouse game like a Tom and Jerry cartoon for the lead.
The last lap time was 19.125 for Pastriak, 19.088. Now 19.087.
So that means that Pitcat is coming. But when they cross the line this time, Big John Spence Jr. is going to have two big hands in the air for 10 to go. And now, the gap is closing ever so slightly.
Pitcat is really fast approaching the number 5 Connecticut car. Pastriak looking for his 5th win of 2015. What a year it's been. Pitcat, he wants to finish in front of that 5 Connecticut car because of the points situation.
Look at Pitcat. He is closing, but the clock is ticking. Will the breaker, the deal maker, be in the opportunity of time?
Of course, Pitcat's looking to break out the broom here and sweep the 3 races in 2015 here at the half mile. And is he going to get to do it?
73 of 80 laps now complete. Pitcat is giving it his all. That's what this kid does best.
He might be in store here for a classic finish at Stafford Motor Speedway.
Last time by, Pitcat dipped into the 18.975. Pastriak turned to 19.048.
Right now, he is about 2 car lengths with 5 laps to go. 5 more times around the Stafford Motor Speedway half mile.
Woody Pitcat is definitely 2015's big dog, no matter what he drives. Woody Pitcat closed it up. We head to Darren in turn 3.
And comes Pitcat down to the inside. He's going to try and protect that inside. Is Pastriak. He does not want to let the 42 get by here, try and take his line away. He's doing just that. He's going to make the 42 go to the outside as they come out of turn number 2. Pastriak just got to protect that bottom. Here they come, turn number 3. 2 laps to go, coming to the line. And the 5-car holding off for his 5th win in his 2nd straight.
Final 2 circuits down into turn number 1. Pitcat swings way out to the outside. Pastriak guards the spot. Deep down into turn 3. It's Pastriak. Pitcat's all over him. Pastriak still trying to hold on.
He's got a good run down to the bottom off of turn number 4. The white flag is over the speedway. Final time around the half mile as they go into that number 1 corner. As Pitcat's trying to figure the way by the 5 Connecticut, and Chris pulls him down the back straightaway.
Pastriak, final time through turn number 3. Woody Pitcat wheels him in. Off turn number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, at the line, it's Pastriak over Woody Pitcat in 2nd, and rounding out the top 5, Mike Willis will finish in the 3rd spot. Teddy Christopher